George, so nice to meet you. You're one of my favorites on the show.
Wow.
What?
I don't know why, by the way.
One of my favorites.
I just won the belt. I have nothing. Wow.
One of my favorites on the show. What did you think about Paul's performance today?
I mean, I've known Paul obviously over about a year, but he's athletic. I know he's had a great track record. I think he was 5-0 before. I kind of knew the result was going to go like that. I didn't think it was be as close, but I'm proud of him, and I knew he was going to win it. So
Absolutely. And if you had to fight anyone from the castmate in your own boxing match, who would you choose?
Jordan.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Why Jordan?
Because he's a knob. He's the only guy that off camera and on camera are two different people.
Oh, really?
On camera, he's a dickhead and he plays up to the cameras. Off camera, he's actually one of the soundest cast members that I've ever met. And that is why I actually said, when Luke dropped out, I said, ask the promoter, because I'll fight him.
You wanted to do it?
Well, I'm not a fighter. I'd rather do it in an octagon. But the problem is, I'm like 120 kilos, and he's built like a little boy. So the problem is like, he's a little boy and I'm a man. How do you kind of meet in the middle? Because he's the kind of guy that wouldn't want to meet in the middle. He'd make me go all the way to him.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
How do you think that fight would go? Would you knock him out? Would he knock you out?
I'd probably be too heavy for him. I think that's the biggest thing. He'd have to go too far to me, and I could get lean enough that it wouldn't really change how I am.
Right, okay.
I'd be faster. But like, I'm a big heavy hitter. Like, I'm not a puncher. That's why I'm saying get me in an octagon and he'd have a big problem.
You know what? I would actually watch that. I would love to see that fight. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
So are you and Jordan friends in real life though?
I mean, no, because he's two different people, on camera and off camera. So I don't speak to him. I don't spend time with him. He's a fraud. He's a rat. Like, all these things. He is not what I want from a friend. He wouldn't do anything for me where I bend over backwards for him. So he's a fraudster.
And someone that would bend over backwards for you is Peggy. How is that relationship going?
What a babe. Peggy is amazing. She's leggy. She's beautiful. She understands me. She is incredible.
How has that relationship been since leaving the show? Because obviously there's a lot of negativity, you know, when you come out of the show. How has it been since leaving?
I think the relationship has grown from strength to strength. Obviously, there's been ups and downs, peaks and troughs in every relationship, right? But you have to remember, if we were flatlining, that would mean that we're dead, right? Mm-hmm. So there's highs, there's lows. But remember, after every low, there's always a high, and every high, after every high, there's always a low. So you have to remember, it keeps you level, keeps you grounded, and it makes you really appreciate who you're with.
Absolutely. And what did you think about your gaming now? Obviously in the show she had a problem with it. I've seen you live stream a lot. I'm watching it all the time.
You like it, yeah?
I love it. What did she think about it?
Yeah. She's cool with it. She's actually, the first thing she did was she encouraged me, and she was like, I want you to be happy.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and that's why like we work so well, because I want her to be happy. I want her to do her fashion, you know, her designing and everything. She's such a glamorous individual, and then I want to do what makes me happy, but then I also want to do everything I can with her.
Absolutely.
You know,
and the live streams are so entertaining. So keep them going.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm a bit of an entertainer. You know, what can I say? So I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. And the experts obviously had a lot of input in the show. If there was one thing you had to take away from what they said and put it forward into your relationship, what would you say that was?
I would probably say compromise is the biggest thing, but not too much of a compromise. I think if you compromise too much, you lose yourself, and then you start to question who you are, and then you're not your authentic self. I think they needed to give me an understanding of, like, you got to give things in numbers, metric numbers, and so on, and you just say, right, if you're a 5, you need to be a 7.5. Never a 10 and never a 5, always in the middle, a 6 and an 8. Right, that's the range, because you're never too low, but you're never too high. And I think that's the perfect thing.
I love that so much. And you and Peggy really did compromise with each other. That's why you're still together today.
Well, I mean, I would probably say one of two real relationships. I'd say Paul and Tasha are a super real relationship. And you got Peggy and myself.
I loved you guys together. Thank you so much for your time.